Honkai Star Rail is a free-to-play turn-based strategy game with unique characters, deep strategic combat, and an ever-growing narrative. But is it actually free-to-play friendly? That's the million-dollar question, and the one we'll be exploring in today's video. Without further ado, let's get into it and see if Honkai Star Rail is actually free-to-play friendly and why so many people are asking this question. Go baby, what's good guys? Yoku here, and let me preface this by telling you the answer is yes and no at the same time. There are a multitude of factors that will determine whether the game is free-to-play friendly or not, but these are all subjective. My experience as a free-to-play player is completely different from another creator's or even another player's. The way I strategize is different. My team might be different. The RNG the game provides will never be the same. There is literally a 1% chance that you will be able to copy the same exact build, the simulation buffs, or even the opportunity the games provide. What I'm about to break down is the overall concept and problem with so many people mindlessly saying that it's free-to-play friendly while completely acting oblivious to the obvious setups. I'll do my best to break this down into 4 major parts or so, and starting off, we're going to be talking about, is your progression hindered as a free-to-play player? No, the answer is immediately no. Story mode is built to be what you would consider your typical challenge. It's a little hard, but not too hard, but it's not super easy either. I don't know why I said 2 buts in one sentence. I'm gonna fail my English grammar class. Throughout the story, you're gonna be playing and experiencing the story. So their goal is the story. A lot of that is not going to be cock-blocked by your inability to play the game. Oh man, I didn't pull 3 5-star characters, I can't progress through the story. No. It's all strategy based. When you're going through the story, a lot of that is going to be straight up, are you good at the game or not? Do you understand how turn order works? Do you understand how to use the break system? If you break the opponent right now, is this more beneficial to you, or is it more beneficial to you to save that and break them at the beginning of next turn so that you have a full turn to take advantage of the enemy weakness? Even utilizing the damage over time feature or mechanic function, whatever, the thing, right? The ability to use DOT, your dot damage, is something that's going to have to be taken into consideration. Do I put up a shield now, or can I survive another hit? Do I heal now, or do I use my ult in the middle of my opponent? There's a lot of things that go into the factor of being able to play a turn-based RPG well. And on top of that, with Honkai Star Rail allowing us to use our ultimates at any point in time during our turn or the opponent's turn, right? We can interrupt them at any point in time with our ultimates. That creates a whole new layer of strategy. So your progression is only hindered by the team comp opportunity more so than the characters themselves. And the characters literally lead me into my next major point here. Are the 4 stars weak? I recently put out a video going over the importance of 5-star characters. You can check that out right up here with the eye bubble as well as a little pop-up here. And that'll go over an entire discussion, my whole thesis point on why 5-star characters matter so much in Honkai Star Rail compared to the 4-star characters. But in this video, to give you guys a brief understanding of why that is, let me explain. Hoyoverse has been actively trying to not make the same mistake as Genshin Impact. Bennett, Xingqiu, Sucrose, whoever, the main 4-star characters that we talk about when it comes to Genshin Impact, the same ones that are on almost every team that are not unique teams, by the way, those are the mistakes. Those were not intentional. They did not do that on purpose to make them so good, so beneficial and relevant to this day. And that's the problem. Now, take that from what I just said and apply it to Honkai Star Rail. For those that don't know, MiHoYo has been working on the game since CBT1 or prior, whatever. Each beta, there are new numbers. They have been nerfing characters, especially the 4 stars in particular, from CBT 1, 2, and 3. And now that we're in CBT 3, which is presumably the final beta, and it's going to be basically the game that we get, right? The actual game, the version of the game that we get, it's safe to assume these are going to be the static numbers that we come into play with. Previously in CBT 2, for instance, Natasha was able to heal for upwards of 1400 plus HP by using her ultimate. And this is not a maxed out Natasha, by the way. The relics aren't perfect. The healing bonus isn't maxed out at like over 100%. This is a basic Natasha, level 40, level 50, somewhere around there. And she's outputting almost 1500 HP from her ultimate. Meanwhile, a level 40 Natasha in CBT3 with the healing relics and so on and so forth is putting out a much more reasonable HP gain or recovery, an HP recovery compared to before. She's only putting out 250, 300, 350, maybe 400 on a good day, so on and so forth. You're not popping 1,000+ heals without being what I would consider end or late game with Natasha in particular. The same thing can be applied to Dan Heng, which he used to be able to hit upwards of 6,000 off of a crit, and now he doesn't hit anywhere near that. March 7th having much more defense value so that her shield kind of sort of never really went away because the shield is based off of her defense value. Then they nerfed that. They're not trying to nerf these 4-star characters so that they are unusable and force you to pull for 5-star. What they're trying to do is balance the game between 4 stars and 5 stars. Maybe you pull a 5-star and you have hopefully three 4 stars that work around this 5-star. Awesome. You can build a very strong team using this, and they work without being too overpowered. The game won't be super easy for you. They're essentially trying to entice or make pulling for 5 stars much more attractive than keeping the same 4-star roster. So to answer the question of if they're weak or not, they're not weak, but they're not so absurdly strong that they're going to be outdoing damage or outputting DPS, outperforming a 5-star character in relatively speaking the same lane. That third major point coming into play now would be those exact characters and the diversity. Am I able to build a proper team comp, like I mentioned earlier, in order to function, in order to play the later end modes of the game? If if the story is simple enough for me to enjoy the story, play through the game as long as I'm good at the game, how do I challenge myself? What is going to keep me playing this game as a free-to-play player? If I just get super unlucky, I can't get a 5-star, it's taking me a long time, I'm casually playing, what keeps me playing this game? And that would be your late game modes, Simulated Universe, Forgotten Hall, and whatever the other 2 modes are that we're going to be getting once the game fully releases, allegedly. But how do those characters really come into play, right? How do they all work together? You have the main character, which is a physical DPS, and as of right now, what we know, also a flame tank. So the flame tank is going to be something that might be a little bit more beneficial to you once you unlock that throughout the story, because now you can use him as the aggro, right? The tank. I'm drawing aggro so that no one else on the team is going to take the damage. Now, this won't help you for AoE, but that's a whole different discussion. You have March 7th, who is the actual shielder. Hey, I'm going to use the flame tank to take the aggro, and then I'm going to give March 7th the shielding opportunity to shield the main character. Now he has a shield on him, he takes no damage, and he can draw all of the attacks to the main character. Awesome, perfect. This is a great start to building my team comp. Next, we need some damage. Okay, Dan Heng is coming into play. Dan Heng is a great single target DPS. He focuses on win. Awesome, Dan Heng is going to give you what you need, relatively speaking, of course, but point being is right now in this hypothetical, he's going to give you exactly what you need. But now you need a buffer or a debuffer, right? We can look at Asta. Asta is a great buffer. She's going to buff the team. She's going to help improve any type of fire units that are on the team. Any shielding, she's going to help with that, and she's going to increase your speed upwards to 50% depending on how many of the trace levels you have. Right there, I just pretty much gave you what usually is probably the team that most people are running, or they replace March 7th with Natasha because heals over shield in their opinion. But regardless, it works. Now you start to get into more characters. Is this fun for me? Is this all I can do as a free-to-play player? Is this the only team comp that's viable? I don't want to only play one team comp. If I'm free to play in the game, it's not fun if I'm playing the exact same team comp as everyone else. And I mean everyone. If everyone is playing MC, March 7th, Asta, and Dan Heng, how is this fun? Oh, we'll change March 7th to Natasha. Okay, now we're all playing Natasha over March 7th. This is not fun. How does this become fun for a free-to-play player? You have Serval, which is a lightning AoE damage dealing character, but she has damage over time. You have Herta, which is a frost AoE character. Of course, you have Natasha, the physical healer, and then I can't pronounce this character's name, but she's RNG the character, like that's straight up what she is. But she's Quantum, which is the first that we have for it. The only one that we don't have that's free to play would be the imaginary element. So you're forced at that point to pull for an imaginary character. We don't have one that's going to be free. So as a free-to-play player, you were limited or locked out from imaginary, which if you needed that, tough titties, I guess. So with all of that in mind, and I've given you all of the characters, the diversity, how you can build a team, what you can use, and the limitations you have behind that without any 5-star characters, what exactly am I doing that's so difficult? What's so important after the story that I would need to keep playing this game for? Introducing in-game. Within the simulated universe, there are gonna be, and I'll even soft cap it at floor 2. You cannot auto through the simulated universe. Now, I don't mean physically you cannot auto. I mean, you can't leave it on auto and expect the computer, the AI, to do a good job and carry you through it. World 2 will be the start of this. And in particular, because there's certain bosses at World 2. At the end of World 2, and I'll show it on screen here, you guys should be able to watch it. There are 2 bosses, the big tough whatever guy and then the blade dude. They have health bars. It feels like I'm playing the Dark Souls game, bro. They have 3 health bars, right? You take out one, and then they built the health back up. You take out another, and then they built the health back up. This is the start of late game or late to end game content. And this is just World 2, by the way, of the simulated universe. As a free to play player, you can beat it, yes, but guess how much work you have to do, right? Imagine how much more work you have to do compared to if you would have had a 5-star, this and that, and a third. And I'm not even saying that 5 stars are easy. I'm saying that the content is actually challenging. It challenges you to play the damn game. You have to learn the game. But this question that keeps popping up on if it's free to play friendly, the problem that I have with everyone saying that it's super free to play friendly, you can do everything with the free to play characters, you don't even need to pull for the 5 stars if you don't want to, is that this is just the beginning of the game. It's not gonna get easier, right? Like, they're not gonna make easier content. They're gonna make harder content. If MiHoYo's smart, which I mean, typically they would be smart, right? It's their game, it's their baby, their product. They're going to make harder content, not easier content. So if it's challenging now for free to play players with these characters, what makes any of us think that they're going to make easier content for the free to play players? And their goal is money, right? We know this, MiHoYo, they're greedy, whatever. We know their goal is money. They're going to keep doing things to entice you to pull for the 5 stars, to no longer be free to play. Whatever they can do, they're gonna try it. And that's where the game is gonna go. Now, I won't talk about power creep at the end of this video, but if you do want to listen to me talk about power creep, I have a video right here. And if you want to listen to me talk about whether or not Honkai Star Rail is actually the game for you, I have a video over here. Regardless, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about Honkai Star Rail. If you've played the beta and you do think that it's free to play friendly completely, let me know. We can totally have a discussion. I'm open to this. I love talking about this game. I didn't think that I would be really into this game, but I am. Or if you agree with me and you also see the benefactor to a 5-star character or a 4-star character in particular to Star Rail, let me know that as well. Anyway, I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Smell you later.